You know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Rivals Assemble, a Marvel Rivals podcast. I am your host, Mark Turcott, and you are tuned in to episode 27. Well, I'm back, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about this week, including a new game mode that's kind of two modes in one. We have some new changes to emotes and sprays. We have some new skins. We have some Lin Lie lore, and we are, of course, going to break it down with some questions and topic from you guys, our listeners. So to break it all down with me here, first up, a man who may be coming for my hosting gig, Neil. Neil, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? I wouldn't be worried if I were you. I think we kept the ship afloat. You know, we had the bailing buckets. Happy to have you back with us. You were truly missed.
Hey, you guys did a great job, man. I put it in our Discord, and I even messaged you guys personally and just said, you guys had me cracking up. You did a fantastic job. I mean, I was listening back to it, and I mean, the only thing I didn't like about it was that I couldn't actually talk back to you guys. I found myself in my car trying to talk to the speaker.
Isn't that
trying
weird?
to reel us in.
Yeah.
That happened when I was gone
Anyway.
too. It's like, I have thoughts. I can't share them.
Yeah.
We could finally get a word in. Jeez.
Oh, boy. Let's see. Also joining us, Ken's. Ken's, what's up, man?
What's going on? I am not in a swimsuit. However, it is almost time. It's swimsuit season in Rivals. So
Patreon goal.
Yeah.
hot tub pitch.
Rivals Assemble calendar.
Over on the kick, you can catch our stream over there, and we'll do our hot tub stream.
Hey, we did get a pretty good picture of Ken's just a little while ago that we put in
man,
the Discord if you want, man.
Flattering.
Yep.
Nice sun hat on him. It's good.
Let's see. And also joining us, Matt. Matt, what's up?
Guys, hide the stuff. Dad's back. Put it away. I can't see. Oh, hey, Mark. What's up? How's it going, man? Nothing weird going on here. What's good to have you.
I'm glad to be here, Matt. I'm glad everybody else is here. Everybody tuning in here. Thank you guys here for tuning into the show and making us a part of your week. We appreciate it. And yes, episode 27. Can you believe it already? We're here 27 episodes into this. I mean, we're more than 6 months now, more than half a year, which is insane to think about. But quick little housekeeping here before we get rolling. Head over to rivalsassemble.com. You can find all our social links over there, including our links to X, Blue Sky, our Twitch, our YouTube, all that stuff. You can find over there. And of course, you can always email us pod@rivalsassemble.com. Be sure to join the Discord if you can over there. Because, guys, we are almost at 300. Last I checked, what are we, 7 short of 300?
Something close.
Yeah. 6
It
or
was
7.
a possibility we would have hit it this week, but
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you enjoy the podcast, you're like-minded like us, that means head over, join our Discord. You can find the link in the show notes or over at Rivals Assemble Pod. And you can also find the link over to our Patreon. So if you want to help support the show and do a little bit more here and become one of our patrons, you can find out all the info over there at patreon.com/rivalsassemble. You're going to get not only 2 episodes of MCU Recap, which come out on Mondays every other week. But you also get every single week a solo episode from one of us. Neil's solo episode 2 is out right now, and Ken's is coming next week. It's coming in hot next Wednesday, so you can tune into that. So it's at least 6 extra episodes of the podcast every single month. And all
Mark,
that is what?
Mark, I have to say, I did listen to your episode.
My Nintendo
the other day, your Nintendo episode.
Yes.
And I remember what happened when you had the enthusiast life and what it did to my wallet, because after I listened to that, not only do I now want to buy a Switch 2, and I heard you sold all yours, so that's sad. Sorry, but I'll have to find one. But even going back to those NES games, I'm gonna have to find out. Well, I guess they're all on the Switch, so I could play a lot of them there.
A lot of them are, yeah. So my
Nintendo
plan,
games.
with my latest solo was to kind of go through the history of Nintendo, and I kind of put down all these games, just talk about all games that made an impact for me. And I went all the way, literally from the NES all the way up through the Switch. And the plan was maybe it would take 2 episodes. I only made it through the NES in the first episode.
That's really good though.
We got a lot.
It's a good trip.
We got a lot to talk about.
I did my list. I did board games this week, and I had a huge list of board games. I think I got through like 4 or 5, and I'm like, okay.
Yours was great too. Actually, I forgot to tell you this, but I did buy the Hoot Owl Hoot game.
Great game.
Actually, it came in today. It's in my kitchen. We haven't got to play it yet, but
Play it. It's
good
awesome.
recommendation.
See if you win. I've yet to beat
we'll
it,
see.
but we'll get there.
Very cool. So yeah, if you want to be a patron, head over to patreon.com/rivalsassemble. And I can find all the info over there. Now, let's give an update here on the Rivals NHL Playoff Bracket Challenge. We have 20 members in there right now. Remember, the winner not only gets an in-game skin of their choice, but you also win the inaugural Moose Cup and 1 year of bragging rights. And as we just went on the air here, my Hurricanes lost, so the series is tied 1-1 against Capitals. But, Neil, who's winning right now the Bracket Challenge?
Quick update in the Moose Cup bracket. Kaihi, I'm going to say. They are in first place with 82 points. And then there is a 4-way tie for second. Captain Barnes 99, Exhausted Reader, who was our leader last week. Devi Lee, and then Turk 68. Who's that?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
Yes.
You were so close to Turk 69. Come on.
And then also happy to report that Ken's and I are tied.
We're
near
done.
the bottom.
That's it.
We're
We're
near
out.
the bottom. We've got 50 points.
There's no hope.
53 points.
Any progress on the Moose Cup? I know your daughter
It's
painted
here.
it.
Oh yeah, it's in
there
the
it is.
background. If you're tuned in live, it's I get it going on my work calls. People ask about it, but
That's a fun explanation.
yeah, it is. It's fun. It's an icebreaker. Good icebreaker.
Yeah.
I have not scanned it yet, so
Well,
if
you need
you
to
want
tell
that
those people
high
on your work
def,
calls. They've lost their shot, and next year
they do. It'll
we
be a
have
lot
the
harder
second
next
annual.
year. Yeah,
Yep.
my whole company is going to join.
Yeah, and one more little bit of housekeeping here. We've already been mentioning it here for a while, but we are headed to GCX in Orlando, Florida. Myself, Neil, and Matt will be there July 25th and 26th. So if you're headed to GCX or you just want to meet us in person, let us know because we're going to be there. It's a 2-day, basically a game community festival. Used to be the old Guardian Con, Destiny Con, and now it's just all about the gaming community. So if you're going to be there, please let us know. We'd love to hook up and meet you guys.
Gotta decide if we want to go to that after party. We'll have to
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
look at tickets to that.
You guys
Have
could
our own
also could also do, which I'm sad I won't be there for, is that's the weekend that Fantastic Four comes out.
Oh,
Oh boy,
there's our after
So-
party right there, boys.
Over to
There's
Disney
our after party.
Springs and
Okay.
downtown Disney Springs.
Fantastic
Yeah, Disney Springs.
Four.
Yep. Well, we're going to figure all that out. But all right, let's talk about our poll for this week, guys. So last week we asked you guys what is the best team comp? And this was from our voting over on Spotify, and we had 101 votes. And
Wow.
overwhelmingly, with 63 votes, 62.4% of the votes, the 2-2-2 comp won. Kind of just the basic, 2 vanguards, 2 DPS, 2 strategists. The closest one was the 2-1-3 coming with 20 votes, 19.8%. I mean, are you guys surprised by this at all to see that?
Not really.
As big of a margin, I'm surprised at.
I'll also pull the curtain back a little bit. There were some comments on Spotify that were like, this one's not in here, this one's not in here, this one's great. And this poll was the lost poll that was forgotten while Dad was away. The kids forgot to put the poll in.
Didn't do their
We
homework.
forgot to take the chicken out the freezer.
So
And
while I put this poll together and was
While I
silent
was doing
for
the
like
intro,
5
I
minutes while everyone else was talking and just put some numbers in there. So,
We're like, oh, we saw a poll this year
So that's
now.
what happens. It did spark some good
yeah,
conversation.
It did. It was
though,
still good.
and a lot of votes. So
I will say I thought about the poll this week because I was in a match and we were losing pretty badly. And it was a 1-2-3 lineup. And it was during my Black Widow challenge. And I was like, we're not losing this. Like, and they pushed us all the way back to our spawn and were spawn camping us. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. And so we went 1-1-4 and we like destroyed.
Love it.
So wait, Matt, you swapped off Black Widow?
I 100% did.
No, science
Doesn't count.
Matt. Science.
Oh, well, but we won the match. That's all that I care about. And because surprisingly, none of our, not to say that the other strategists weren't awesome, but nobody was a cloak and dagger. And I was like, oh, I can have my cake and eat it too as cloak and dagger. So just pushing and as Cloak, and then healing everybody along the way as Dagger, and it was fantastic.
Awesome.
That was
Yeah, I think with the 222, it doubles up each roll. So like, hopefully at least one of them are good in each, right? So you're not like totally screwed. But I also see the 213 as a good one too, because having that, like, strategists can do good damage as well, right? And I don't think there's no like roll passives in this like there is Overwatch, right? So if a DPS does damage if a duelist does damage versus a strategist, it's not like impeding their healing or anything, right? So if you can do enough DPS as a strategist, then go for it.
Yeah. But I think the majority of people out there, I think, are just seeing the 222 in this vote.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's kind of just the standard.
Yeah,
So,
I really think this game is meant to be played fluidly, like Matt was talking about, and that it's a counter. Of like, okay, they're this, we're struggling. What else can we do? Let's drop a tank. Let's drop a DPS. Let's add whatever. So that's when it's the most fun to me, is when we're trying to figure that out.
And I was the weak link. It's like I'm going to do something that I know that I can do better.
And I think, even kind of looking at this too, like I bet if we had the closest vote was the 213. If we had the 123 in there, I bet you that would have been probably just as close as the 213 as well.
Probably.
Yeah,
so.
Whenever you have three healers, like sometimes that can really push it, where you just have tons of healing coming in. That really helps a lot.
Yeah, each strategist picks it's like man on man, right?
Yep.
You pick a buddy and just keep them healed. And
Yep.
so I think once you start going away from the 222, it's more of like a pre-made 6-stack. People know what they're doing, what their roles are. But
I think
if you're just playing a bunch of random
ideally,
solo queue, then 222 is the safest.
Yep, agreed.
Let's see. Looking ahead to next week's poll, we are going to ask you again. Head over to Spotify. You can vote there under the episode.
Your voice sounded a little shaky, Mark. What
was that?
Who
needs a swimsuit skin? And when we ask you who, it has to be one of these 5 choices.
Or comment on who else.
But you still got to vote for one. So Groot, Jeff, Hulk, Thing, or Iron Man.
Thing is kind of already always wearing a swimsuit.
He's
always got the trunks going.
Give him some goggles.
Yeah.
Does Jeff have pants on?
No. Do dogs wear pants?
I mean,
Donald Duck doesn't.
Neither does Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, no.
Just imagine like Hulk wearing like the what was it, Borat?
The
ones.
Yeah, to be very clear.
Dude.
Iron Man's swimsuit is like a suit of armor. It's not like Tony Stark in a.
Oh,
no,
He's got to be in the suit.
No.
Like
we were talking about that.
Like a Big Daddy from BioShock, like the old school like underwater diver suit.
That would be awesome.
That would be sweet. I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
that would actually be like, think about like an old like diver suit, and when he goes to fire like the beam, he just opens up that little grate.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be my choice.
So you think about it, the steampunk one is kind of like that almost,
it's big,
But I think you would have to just have the
with
helmet.
The big circle.
Yep.
Like total cage.
Little cage on it. Very cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right, so head on over to Spotify. You can vote again. Who needs a swimsuit? Groot, Jeff, Hulk, Thing, or Iron Man? And we will let you know who the winner is next week. And who knows? Guan might be listening, and they may be working on that.
If Hulk gets a Borat swimsuit, dude, then that's when
we know.
Then we know he's listening.
We're living in a simulation.
I got to think of a better name for my alt account, and I'll go from Dream Thickle to like. I'll work on it.
Work on it. All right, let's see. We had a challenge last week heading into this week, and it was the Black Widow challenge. And so we all had to play Black Widow for roughly 10 games, I'm going to say.
Interesting.
Yeah. Who wants to go first and say how your
Neil has to go first. This is all his fault.
I was hoping one of you guys would go, then I could pull up my games. But
No.
I can go if you want me to.
yeah, go ahead.
So I 100% up front didn't finish. I did 7 games, and after that, the 7th game was when it was the 8th game that was the one where I switched over because it just didn't go well. And after that, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna protect my joy and not go back and do this because
enough is enough.
yeah. So it was interesting, a mix between. I feel like my aim definitely got better. I felt that how I played Black Widow, the strength was kind of like the snap to follow, like the kind of like an Overwatch. When you play Widowmaker, there's like, I have no idea what the mechanic is, where it's kind of like on controller at least, like a little bit of a snap over to the character, and it almost seems to get that hitbox a little bit more. I didn't use the like batons and stuff too much, except for when I was getting chased, because I kind of gave myself the directive that it was my responsibility to take down a flyer, then I would focus on support or strategists, which worked pretty well. Was in a weird match where we held a team at spawn, not because of me or anything. We had some disgusting vanguards, and the Human Torch never came out of spawn, like ever. So he had
That's weird.
And at the end of the match, he had 0 kills, zero, like it was so weird. But he kept setting off his ult and everything, and they had a Storm who would combine and use it, but his numbers just, I guess he would have had to pop in and out in order to not get kicked out of the match.
As long as you're moving around, I think you won't get kicked.
But
shooting?
I strongly don't see myself being a Black Widow main. It was a nice change of pace, and maybe people say millennials have no urgency, or Gen Z has no urgency, and maybe that's like that coming out of me, that I was like, no, I'm the sniper, I get to chill back here, guys.
Yeah,
lining up my shots.
I felt that too. Yeah,
so
find a good spot to get cozy.
That little bit of entitlement that comes with playing a sniper, which I could see being dangerous. And there was one match that I got over 10 kills, and that was it. Most of them were like 3s and 4s, and then I think I got 11 in one match. But it was a lot better than Mantis for me.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
That's
wow.
Good.
I'm still trash on Mantis. Mantis, I rage quit, Mark. I was like,
Wow.
What about you, Neil?
So for mine, I did just pull this up here. I didn't get many over 10 kills, Matt, either. I did just play one while I was chatting with Ken's before the show here. I went 12.
I'm actually playing it right now.
Yeah. So that went pretty well, and I got the achievement. I think it's like 3 critical hit KOs in one match. So that was after 5 games of playing. So I played 6 total. I lost 1 of them, and I don't know why I was a support in my second game here. I'm pretty sure the one I did really well with, I went 22-2. I'm convinced that was bots. Like I never, I don't trust any of these games anymore. Once I knew there were bot games, I just always assume they're bots unless I'm getting wrecked.
We don't know for a fact if there's bot games.
Yeah,
but
if you check,
seems very likely. But
the tracker,
which is not official.
Not official, but
it'll show you
identifies the bots. Even had 2 bots on my team that time too. On this game, I'm looking at it now.
What you're looking for is thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt a little fishy. Like
dub is a dub.
When the Human Torch isn't flying out of spawn. I don't know. Unless he's raging hard. Like that seems a bit fishy to me. But anyway, I did not use my batons very much. I did get kind of picked on by some divers, and they just out DPS me, so I'm screwed at that point. So I just kind of let it happen. The kick is nice to kind of kick them away, but the run is also good because you can get to where you're going, and even using that jump helps you get to like higher vantage points as well. So it really made me look at the alternate paths and find those hidden staircases to get to the higher levels, because if you're shooting down on somebody, you have more of a chance of getting those headshots. So those feel really good to hit. The one thing that was a bit misleading is when you go for the hits and you get that feedback that you hit something. Sometimes it's the environment behind them, so you never really know if you're hitting the enemies or if it's just the environment. I wish that there was different sounds or different feedback if you're hitting environment versus like you get that different feedback when you hit a headshot.
Right.
But if it's a body shot, you don't. You're like, oh, it said I hit something, and I'm pretty sure I was close to it, but you're never really sure.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the run, like, if it gets is it for a specific amount and then you have to like let it cool down and then do it again, or if it gets interrupted?
It's interrupted, and if you jump, then you have to hit it again. So that, because that's what I noticed. Like on PC, I hit shift, she starts running, and then when I would jump, sometimes not even jumping to a higher level, like just jumping somewhere. Then when she lands, then she's walking, and I gotta hit shift again. But it wasn't on a cooldown, so you could just run. You just gotta hit it again.
And then it's
a skill issue.
It's an amount of like you have stamina or whatever, and when you run out, then you can't run anymore. It's like a little white bar, like Magneto's timed shield thing.
I guess maybe I didn't even notice that. I guess because I wasn't. I thought a couple matches I just was like running into the fray, like right when the gate would open, just running. And I never noticed her.
It's
like
funny
stopping.
that you take the time to notice a stamina bar, Neil, when you don't pay attention to the kill feed in the corner.
The stamina bar is right beside my reticle. The kill feed is way over there. I'm pretty sure I sent you a picture.
Way over there?
I mean, on his TV, in his environment, yes, it is way
Manitoba over there?
Like, yeah, way over there, bud.
Kenz, you want to go next or?
Sure. I don't have a ton to report that's new. I went 3-7. I had one game, I think that was 15-2, at another 14-4 game. I do feel like those games, I was like, man, I think that was a good game. Like, I think I did okay. Like, I did like pretty good damage, helped the team. But 2 out of the 10 games, the other game that I won, I was like 4-5. So it's like I wasn't helping. I think that, like, I know in the beginning when Rivals came out, there were so many like, well, this character's just Tracer from Overwatch, and it's like it was very much like 1-to-1 people talking about like copies of Overwatch characters. Playing Black Widow for the first time was the first time that I was like, man, I just wish that she was Widowmaker. Like, I just wish that, like, I wish it was the same. Like, I like this one did not, it just does not feel, she's missing something. And I couldn't quite figure out what it is.
I think I know what it is, Kenz, because
I know one thing I think that it is maybe some type of stun or like a
Widow's bite. That's
Widow's
her.
Bite. Yeah.
It's in the movies. It's in the comics. It's in everything. How does she not have that? The kick is not a good enough.
It's not.
Escape,
and it has. There's like a rotation to it that you kind of have to do it well, and it's awkward to switch from the gun to the. It's like it would be different if it was just a button that you press, but you have to switch weapons and then you start swinging. With the batons, so I don't know. It's like she's fine, but I think there's a reason why she's one of the least picked, and I think like I said, I think she's just missing parts of her kit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was I got to preface this by saying, I mean, talking openly here in the podcast lately about how I've switched from controller to mouse and keyboard, so my aiming isn't the best still, like when zooming in, but I was like, no, I'm going to do this. So I found I was actually hitting shots better by not zooming in than I was with zooming in. But like her cadence it feels too slow for her shots. And now granted, I know, if I'm the one playing Widow, I want it to be faster. But if I was on the receiving end of her shots, I would want them to be slower. But I almost wish she was like Hawkeye, where there was a way to overcharge her gun, like how he overcharges his arrows,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
Like
gives like
Widowmaker.
boom, 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 like 3 quick shots. Give her that. Give her the Widow's Bite, and then I would even say, even give her the grapple hook. I mean, I hate to say that, like Widow in Overwatch, but like give her that. Like,
I like them making you work for some sort of grapple in this.
I kind of do too. I think if they did add the grapple, it would need. I wouldn't want it to be that a 1-to-1 thing from
Moon Knight.
from the
Just give us the
Widowmaker.
Moon Knight grapple,
Yeah,
right?
like I think
No?
it would need to be, because I agree with Matt of like there are some ledges that like I just couldn't get to with using the sprint jump, and I had to like find some stairs. So a lot of them I could, but there are some of them that are a little too tall, and so I think it would be okay to get to those, but I wouldn't want like to get to some crazy place on the map, where like only the Widowmaker can get here,
Yeah.
Right.
or some type of flyer.
And also, it kind of lends itself that it doesn't entirely fit in with her kit lore wise, like sure
Yeah.
she might have it, but it's not like how like Batman is. The grappling gun is iconic, or even I would even argue that it's not even that way with Moon Knight, but I'm not the biggest Moon Knight buff, so I could be incorrect.
Yeah.
But it's kind of going off what you said. I found the rate of fire very slow, but I think you put it perfectly that that is made for the enemy team's
Benefit.
thank you. Yes.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
That benefit.
Sanity.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
I have to I'm basically reloading after every shot, and this is taking forever. So maybe that could be different, where it's like you have 2 modes, where it's like you could have a higher impact single shot, like like a more powerful caliber rifle, and then the less powerful, you get like 3 or 4 shots before you have to reload. I think that would almost be a better kit, and just add like a stun to the batons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to add the whole like you don't need a wrist movement, but yeah, just give me stun batons that like zap them. And
I mean, I ended up going 4-4. I think I had 2 matches where I hit double digits. The most was 13 kills, and like even then, I just didn't feel like I was contributing enough to the team, because it was just like, I mean, yeah, some of the games we won, and like I said, one match I went 13-5, which is great, but it was like the other DPS, if I pulled up their numbers, it was probably like 26 and whatever. I just wasn't, because her cadence was so slow, I didn't feel like maybe I would land 2 shots, but by the time I was coming in for that third, either they were already getting healed, or they had moved on, and I was just like, man, like it's.
Did you ever feel that you were just
frustrating
stealing kills?
Yes,
like
when
that's
people
how
were low.
I feel like that's how I got all of mine, because since her primary fire, like it's not strong enough to, or maybe if you're a cracked player it is, but like she can't one shot, correct? Like Hawkeye can one shot.
If you get Mantis buffs, you can one shot headshot some characters. Like the power.
I said the Matt.
But it's like 3. I think it's 3 body shots, maybe 4 for normal characters. If it's tanks, it takes quite a bit.
I will say I had a couple moments of frustration too, where I just ran in with the batons and just started swinging them. I was like, screw it, I don't care.
Just let it all
just
out.
doing
Mark.
it.
Let it all out.
Bang, bang,
I
bang,
did that
bang.
a little bit on some control points where it was like I noticed it was like full chaos. Everybody's jumping everywhere and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I'm like just shooting outlines around people. And it's like, nah, I'm going in. Like,
Doing it.
Did any of you guys ever get a Hawkeye on your team to use the team up?
Yes.
I did.
So
Yes.
Neil was trying to do that, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that. But eventually, whenever when Neil wasn't on my team and there was a Hawkeye, and I actually was paying attention, no fault to you, but I just was not being smart. It's really helpful because
It's awesome. It's
they
like
don't move.
20-second cooldown or something too. So you use it and it leaves their shadows, and like it's independent of his ult. So it's just like your own little mini ult. And as long as you keep them in your line of sight, you can use it and then just shoot their shadows that stay still. So big open areas or whatever where they can't
I want
get
to say
behind
that
cover.
those 2 games where I did really well was because there was a Hawkeye on the team, actually.
Mhm.
Now, do you think that, and this is because the character kit is so close to Widowmaker from Overwatch, and this is not disparaging either game, which do you think is like an ability that you like more? Like Widowmaker's ult in Overwatch, where you can see
Through
everyone
walls.
and everything, or this team up ability?
I like the team up ability, and I think I like her ultimate. I like the little
Yeah.
bomb that she throws that
Yeah.
does like the
that's cool.
debuff. I like that a lot.
Nice.
I just think she needs some type of like Widowmaker has like the little stun poison thing, right?
With the
That-
trap.
Yeah, like it's something like that. I think would be cool. But also like Matt's talking about like the lore of Black Widow. I don't think of her as a sniper. You know, it's from the very beginning. She has seemed
She's suplexing people.
she has seemed one that doesn't really fit the role. Like if we're comparing to Overwatch, you know, more of like a Sombra character of like espionage, sneaking in the back line, you know, like assassin versus sniper.
Yep. Agreed.
So you want her to be like Iron Fist?
I mean, sure, but not.
So instead of this like little short guy like emasculating you, it's Scarlett Johansson
Yes, please.
or Laura Bailey. I'm sorry,
There you go.
but I'm cool with that too.
All right. Well, next week, guys, we are diving into Psylocke. So I will say, like, I actually played a couple Psylocke matches over the last couple weeks, and I don't think I realized the range that her little darts have.
I do.
It's nasty.
It's pretty good, right? So I think we're gonna have some fun with her this week. So
Yeah, I like Psylocke. I'm cool with
Yeah.
this.
so we're
I
gonna
think
do
this was
Psylocke.
a listener request. So if you
Okay.
got one for next time, throw them out in the comments, throw them out in the Discord.
Nice.
What would you guys like to hear? Make us play, and
How would you
hear
like to
us
torture
play.
us?
Yes.
One other quick thing here for our weekend
Yeah.
game. How are you guys feeling about the Hellfire Moments Gala event that's been rolling now with all the new? I mean, obviously it's a new event. We can get our patch Wolverine skin. How are you feeling about I guess just the way the challenges are being doled out now? I forget who it was. Somebody in our Discord mentioned that it seems like it's taking longer than normal. And I've kind of noticed it's kind of weird in how like there's 6 challenges, but it says you have to just complete 4 to like get the points. Like it says 4 of 4, but then to unlock Act 3 you have to complete 6, but it doesn't say like 6 of 6. It's just, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of clutter for this event. It's like not as simple as it's kind of been in the past. I don't know. Have you guys noticed that at all?
Seems
Or
just like I feel like it's just kind of different packaging, because I feel like I approach challenges differently because I'm not an everyday player. Like Mark, you're pretty close
every
to
day I log in every day.
And so whenever I go in, I'm playing for a couple hours, knocking out challenges in mass. So for me, this is nothing new.
Right, but see, the way this works is it's at your pace. So once you complete that 4 of 4, you get the reward, but you have to complete 6 of 6 to unlock the next act. And when you unlock it, it doesn't actually unlock until the following day at 9 GMT for you. So it locks you out, which is they've never really done that before. They've always kind of had it just
I didn't know that. I don't
Yes.
like
The
that at all.
dreamsicle thing was like that,
So
though.
if you're
Yeah.
not in on it, then if you don't keep up with it and try to log in at the very end, like you're not going to be able to do it. You have to be completing not only the 4 of 4 to get that reward, then get the 6 of 6, so then it unlocks the next step the next day for you.
Well, it is a free thing, so I mean,
Of
it's not like
course,
you're losing out.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's like that doesn't even phase me too much, because like what Neil said, it's kind of the same thing to get Dreamthickle Venom. Like you would do your 3 challenges, and then you had to wait for the next thing
Rollover.
to unlock. And so honestly, I think it's easier because they're pretty basic challenges. When we were all spitballing, thinking about like maybe you just got to go to this spot on the map.
Yeah.
No, it's
Do an
Yeah,
emote
no.
there.
yeah,
cooler, actually.
it's like logging on tonight. It was get X amount of healing, get X amount of kills. Like within 5 matches, I had my 100 KOs that I had to have for like the first step.
Nice.
And so it was. Yeah, I just think.
Well, that's the thing. I think for me, it's not what the challenges are; it's the wrapper around it this time. It just seems like it's very convoluted, more convoluted than it's been in the past, I guess. Is my
Yeah, it's
I don't
not
know.
straightforward. And what
kinda
you're
weird.
talking about, Mark, is like phase 2 to phase 3, is it? Because
Yeah.
the phase 1 is you have to complete the 3 steps,
Right.
like all of them to get. I haven't done that yet, so I'm not even in phase 2. But yeah, it feels just from what you're talking about and just the confusion around it, it doesn't feel as good as say that first gala event that we did with the 4 characters. You unlock the characters, you unlock the lore bits, and you can do like the tic-tac-toe 3 in a row kind of deal.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat, and it was fairly easy to do. So it is a slower pace, and I don't know how long we have. Is it till the end of the season to finish?
You know
this?
that? Yeah, I haven't even looked to
I
see.
think it's
Or-
2 weeks. I think it's another 2 weeks at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
2
mean, you're
weeks
gonna have
and some
time. You're gonna
change.
finish it. It just seems like it's this time it's a little bit, and it could be intentional just to slow things down for people, right? I mean, the whole
people
idea
playing
is it's a
every
free to
day.
play game. They want you logging in more often, right? I mean, that's kind of the point of what they want you. That's why we're slowly drip feeding out the skins and doing all that. They want you in there to see all these things that are constantly dropping in that storefront. But
Mhm.
I think if it were more kind of aligned around and focused around the getting votes, like having that be the overarching thing. It's like get your votes for next year's Hellfire Gala costumes
Yeah.
by doing these and or by doing this, kind of like how Overwatch does it, where when they have events, there can be like 6 to 12 different tasks that you have to do, and they kind of compound on each other.
Yeah.
And I think something like that, where you just like,
I think that's step 3, Matt, because I unlocked it,
Okay.
but I can't do it till tomorrow, and it says you can get up to 10 votes. So
okay,
and
but
keep-
like have that be the whole thing.
right,
It's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
you could mine like being a strategist and healing, and for every 50k heals you get a vote.
that would be sweet. Yeah.
Or you could play a Vanguard, and every 3 games you play as a Vanguard you get a vote, or something.
Yeah, that'd
something
be cool.
to encourage people to play a
Try different
role,
things.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? This is a tangent, but you know what I would really love to see in this game? Kind of ported from Destiny as an event is like Destiny does the Guardian games, where it's like Hunter versus Titan versus Warlock, and it's like at the end of it, there's one that's like crowned for the year. It's like Warlock's won this year.
Yeah.
and
Oh, really?
strategist.
if it's like strategist, Vanguard, duelists, like, and
That's
then
cool.
it's like which one is the better and you just I don't know how they would do that, but something like
Yeah,
that
I'm
would be
trying to
super
think
cool.
how would you do that?
You
Like,
get
that'd be-
points for completing the strategist quests, and then it's the number of quests completed.
There you go. There's
Yeah.
specific quests
So-
for the different roles.
They do something kind of like that in Future Fight, where it'd be like Civil War or Inhumans versus X-Men, and you just pick a faction to side with when you enter
Right.
the game. It's just like, oh, I'm going to be on Team X-Men, and everything you do in the game
Yeah,
gives points towards your side. So
yeah,
I think that would be,
it's possible.
yeah.
It's like Splatoon. Splatoon
it's
did
kinda
that,
like a voting
ketchup or
thing.
mustard, right? Didn't they? do
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Forgot about those.
The Splatoon
What?
weekends.
Ice cream or pizza?
Yeah. Hilarious. All right, guys. Well, let's move on here to the news in our news segment that we call the Not So Daily Bugle News.
J. Jonah Jameson here.
All right. Well, we got a new patch coming to the game. It's actually already out if you're listening to this right now.
Patching
And coming with it is another new game mode, guys. This is the Giant Size Brain Blast. So, like I said, this is that's actually not coming till May 16th. But I think they might have been listening to the show, because I do remember talking on the show about how we didn't really like the voting for the characters. And this time it's totally random. So it's going to be again the giant heads, but the heroes being played will always be random, and it'll be 2 different heroes.
Bigger
that.
brain, same mind.
This is great. I think this is fantastic that they're doing this.
Yep.
And it's actually, no, I'm sorry, I would say the 16th. It is May 9th through May 12th. This will be out there for the first weekend. So just on the weekends again, like they've done before, next 2 weekends. But what do you guys think of this? Having it,
It's
Still up
stupid
this
and
way.
it looks fun.
Yeah.
All the Lokis in the trailer is absurd. Just all the big head Lokis with like the little horn honking. That's
it's great.
It's such a simple mechanic to do, and just be like, oh, I like my peanut butter sandwich. Oh, I like my jelly sandwich. What if I made a peanut butter and jelly
what
sandwich?
I was
But-
going to say this is like the pineapple apple pen of
Pineapple
Brain
apple pen?
Blast and
It is.
the Hive Mind, or sorry, not Hive Mind, but Clone Rumble.
I
Yeah.
almost got trolled thinking that because there have been rumors that Hive would be a character that is introduced. Not confirmed, but I was like, wait, is this a thing? And it's not. It's just big head Clone Rumble.
Now, do we know what the reward is for this? Did it show it in the trailer? Is there a reward?
I assume it'll just be another emote.
Yeah.
Maybe another big head emote, maybe? I don't know.
Or maybe
but
an emote that clones you.
that would be cool. I will say, like, the first go around with this, I just kind of knocked out my 10 matches just to get the emote.
Literally.
This time, though, having it be random kind of makes me want to check in just to be like, let me play a match and just see what combination it's going to give me. Because, like, Clone Rumble itself was fun, but, like, the whole voting thing was kind of like, I don't know. I think this, where the game just is randomly throwing something at us, I think is pretty cool. I think that's going to be fun.
You got to go into this not taking it seriously at all.
At all.
Because this is just like we wish you a Merry Jeffmas, and this is just like the original Clone Rumble. Like when I would try and sway my teams to go all Jeff, and we'd have like the Rage Quitter Spider-Man on our teams. But when you're playing a game of all Jeffs, how are you not doing anything but like laughing?
Yep.
The first comment here says, "Imagine everyone is Sue Storm and no one wins because everyone's invisible."
Oh, that's great.
You
Yeah,
don't
that's
see
funny.
anyone. Yeah, that sounds great.
I wonder if was
pushing
Doctor
people
Strange,
around.
was he in the last?
You weren't allowed.
Oh no, you
picking
couldn't play Strange.
Yeah, I know,
because
right?
Portals.
Yeah,
Portals are
crash your computer. It was only like 14 of characters.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
So we'll see. It's available this weekend and should be coming out again the following weekend, right? So 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
You should be able to jump into this, and we'll see if there's any little rewards or anything they give us.
I don't know if there's leaderboards here. Probably not, because you're not picking your character.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're probably right. Let's see. Also coming with this patch, we have some changes to emotes and sprays, which this actually went available, I think, live this morning, because I was able to check out some of this. But essentially what they did now is they made it where your emotes and sprays are separate. So we pretty much had the wheel before, and you can only put, I guess, how many spots are on that wheel? Maybe 8 or 10 spots that were on there, or 12, whatever it was. Now you basically have 2 separate wheels on PC. When you open up your emotes, which usually hit the letter T, you can either have your emotes in front of you, or you click one of your left or right mouse buttons and it switches over to the other one. Whichever one you had open last is the one that will pop up every time you pop it up, which I think is kind of cool. Rather than have it just always be the emotes or always be the sprays, you can always keep it to what you want. They've also added the ability now where you can kind of quickly equip sprays or emotes across all characters. So that option is there, kind of like when you change key bindings. And you can do it on either a specific hero or across all the heroes. It's basically that same mechanic, but for your cosmetics. So I think
That sounds
cool.
great, because it takes a lot to suit out each character, and especially when new characters come out and you go to use a spray, and it's like, oh, I only got the base one. This isn't fun.
Yeah. Now, one thing to think about, I don't know, and this might be a little discussion here. What do you guys do for your sprays? Like for me, whoever I'm playing, like that character, I always have all of their sprays.
Yes, that's it.
Right? So
Yes.
to me, like, it's cool they added this, but when I went to try it out, and then it gave me a warning, and it said, hey, just want to let you know, like, when you do this, it's going to go across all the characters and basically wipe out everything you've done. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So it's cool they added this, but in the same sense, I don't really want to do it because I don't want to wipe out all my other stuff that I already have in there.
Yeah, all that hard work.
Yes. Hard, Neil.
It is.
I've got thoughts. I played this live, and it is lightning fast, because on controller it is, once you hold down like the D-pad button to get into it, then you have to, it's either like R2 or L2, I think, to switch. And if you just hold one of them down, it flips until you let go. So
you
it
just
is
tap it once to swap.
you literally just like tap. But I liked the half and half because I'm a creature of comfort, and so I split it down the middle, and I'd have sprays on one side, emotes on the other, and
Yeah.
that was like best of both worlds for me. You know, but now I don't have enough to fill the thing. And now my
emotes,
brain says
yeah.
you need to fill the thing, but you can't fill it with Galacta nonsense.
Yes, you
Right.
can.
No.
It's great. 20 million
I mean,
players.
sprays. I think you fill it with enough sprays. It's the emotes, right? Because the emotes, every character has
like
one,
3.
and then pretty much every not costume, but you know, if you
Well, every
for,
character has at least 2. They've got like the hero icon, and then they've got like their face.
right. I'm talking emotes though. Like sprays were
yeah.
good, but emotes are like.
Yeah, and so it's just like I see what you're doing, Guan Guan. Like you're trying to get me to buy more stuff to fill up the empty space, and I'm probably going to do it.
Don't do it.
Well, Matt, isn't this also this is Overwatch, right? Overwatch has it this way. You have one wheel of sprays, one wheel is emotes.
But you also only have 4 there, so it's a little
True. That's true.
This is a wheel of like 10 spots,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
I need things to fill the thing, so I can do it.
Eventually, they'll be there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's right. I mean, and that's one of the things with the battle pass is like, I mean, I look at my sprays. I have so many sprays. Like when I go into them now, they're not all specific to the character that I want to, you know, affix them to. But it's like I got tons of sprays, man, from doing all these.
Give
events
us a way
and all the free
to
stuff.
organize our sprays by character.
Yeah.
Let me filter my sprays by character.
Or anything. Color.
It's not chaos.
Just give
It
us
is
something.
chaos, and you can't find it, and it changes if it's like an unused, and then you go to use it, then it pops it at the top or something.
Yeah.
Just the order is everywhere.
Did you guys do the thing in element? Did your teachers in elementary school ever do the thing where, like, on St. Patrick's Day, they would like destroy the classroom, knock all the desks over, like empty all your desks out on the floor, and then sprinkle like green glitter everywhere, and be like, "Oh no, a leprechaun got in and like destroyed the room."
Absolutely
Yep.
not.
I've
What?
had that.
Oh my god, I had
Yes,
so
Matt,
many
I
teachers
did.
do that. So, but it's like that would always, I would dread it every year because I'm like the organized kid. And I'd be like, nope, everything is, I have a little cavity in the middle of the desk, and like all the folders and paper were on one side, and my boxes and like crayons and markers and things were on the other, like super lined up. Like that's what I want my sprays and my my emotes to be. I want to have order.
And here comes Guan Guan just coming in and throwing glitter everywhere. and
Flipping
that's-
desks.
Guan and
Leprechaun.
green glitter.
Leprechaun Guan.
Oh no, Gon he was here last night.
What's at the end of the rainbow? Guan Guan.
On his pot
with
of
some
gold
green
that
glitter
comes
ready
from
to just
our wallet.
disorganize your life.
Let's see. They also added to the portraits and the hero screen. You can see which costume you have equipped, which is great. I think that's actually a great addition. I was kind of pulled up my heroes today, and you can see, you know, all the different, like my Cap skin, my Venom skin, all that was kind of in there. And, you know, it's always fun. I like going on there and kind of hovering over it, you know, and they kind of become 3D and kind of pop out of the screen.
Yeah.
So to see those costumes was kind of cool.
So sorry, what is changing here? Because
So before it would always show like, you know, the default Captain America skin.
like
It didn't show the MCU.
the
When
static
you hover
image?
over it, it would. Like you
Yeah.
hover, it would be
Right.
default. You hover over it, your new one would pop out. So you're
Right.
saying that now it's like,
When you look
It-
at that screen, it's all the ones,
Oh, okay.
the special
Yeah.
costumes
okay,
you have.
cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, yeah, nice little addition they put in there. You know, nothing huge, nothing you're always seeing tons of times, but I think it's kind of cool. So then you can just look at that and be like, oh crap, I want to equip this skin, or you know, if you got like the Willa Galacta Adam Warlock, and you haven't equipped it yet, and you just look at it and say, oh yeah, I got that email.
If you remember to claim it,
which
right,
I
Ken?
did not.
Yes, go claim that.
You live and learn. Oh man, did I claim the new stuff?
Let's see, just a couple other little things in there. You know, typical map fixes, and the heroes are getting a couple changes. Let's see, Jeff's missing meal.
This is
So,
a
like,
good one.
I guess, yeah, when he would swallow 6 enemies, only 5 of the avatars would show up on in controller mode, they said. So that was kind of interesting. They fixed that. And Bruce Banner's Space Out. They smashed a bug that all three forms of Bruce Banner are unable to bind the jump action to the space bar. Now Banner can leap into action as intended. I've never had that happen. I mean, I can always. I don't. I mean, I guess maybe that was just a random bug that happened at some point, but I've never had that issue for me on PC.
Nope.
Did you ever have that issue, Kens?
I did not.
Yeah.
Although I never played Hulk. I haven't played Hulk since switching to mouse and keyboard.
It's good. It's good.
The Jeff thing makes me think I want a spray of Jeff eating chicken nuggets, but they're like crudely shaped into like the shapes of heroes.
Yes.
So like
That sounds
awesome.
great.
you know, like the Grogu and Chicky Nuggies memes, Chucky Milk
Yes.
and Nuggies. I want the same for
It'd be
How about
really
how
hard to
about
do.
a Marvel Rivals Happy Meal at McDonald's? Could you
Oh,
imagine that
don't
little
tempt me.
toy icon or little toys, just little Happy Meal toys, Rivals?
I remember I went. I did a trip to China, like I don't know, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe a bit more. And I went to McDonald's there. They had a Heroes of a Storm Happy Meal.
What?
It was amazing, and you got a code for a skin.
That is crazy,
It was nuts.
dude.
Or you're like a mount or whatever.
Oh, they could totally do that. That's a great idea. Let's get going on a McDonald's on the wall. Yeah,
My God.
Let's do it. Wow.
I'll go with a Happy Meal.
Let's see. We also have coming with this patch here, and they should be available in the store, some new skins. We got some nice little soak up the sun skins with Rocket and Squirrel Girl getting some new skins. They say embrace the flarking hot summer with Rocket Raccoon Sunshine Raccoon and Squirrel Girl Sunshine Squirrel
Easy.
costumes. Channel the heat and ignite the battlefield with summer fun. So what are you guys thinking of these skins?
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Love the turtle hat.
Isn't the Squirrel Girl one the one people were saying is like the Sabrina Carpenter skin?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I think she has
And why is
that
this?
same visor on, right? I think there's
She's
a
like
picture.
just wearing the same thing that she is in
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. And it's smart because Sabrina Carpenter, they added her to Fortnite,
Yeah.
and it did like gangbusters, like crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, so for the Squirrel Girl, they say a beach summer and always battle ready. You like the new outfit? I know everyone else is getting all guised up for the gala tonight, but I think hitting the beach is more my style. The sun-kissed coast never looked as good as Squirrel Girl's Sunshine Squirrel costume, appearing for the first time in Marvel Rivals Season 2.
I think that was guzzied.
Guzzied? Guzzied up? What'd I say? Guys?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Guzzied.
You guys,
Kaiser?
am I crazy thinking that it's
No,
guzzied
no,
up?
no, you're right. Yep. Guzzied.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Well,
her
you are crazy, yeah.
her slingshot. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like her nuts.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. This has been episode 27 of Rivals Assemble. Join us next
Okay.
week for episode 28. Anyway,
Rocket. Rocket's ready for a fiery summer. Man, I freaking love this place. If that flarking amazing baby would just quit eating the flowers in my hat, it'd be perfect.
Okay,
Bask
hang
in the
on.
hot sun. What?
So I meant to ask this when we did the lore and we were reading the comics. What is the amazing baby? I don't know what that is.
Is it his turtle?
Because they're
Is it a
referring
turtle?
to it like it's a known thing, and I don't know what the amazing baby
Got
is.
something on the backpack too. There's like a fish in his rocket packs.
It says
No,
that,
little
it's
squids.
eating things in his hat. Let's see. Bask in the hot sun. His rocket sunshine costume. Yeah. I don't know.
It's in the lore and in the in-game lore, and it's talking about the amazing baby. And I may have
that up.
missed it, but
Rocket's
it's
amazing baby.
they're bringing
Like
it.
eating
They're
the
all about
flowers
the
in the
amazing
hat.
baby, apparently.
But his hat is an upside down turtle, right? Or no?
Is it?
Mm,
Or is there just a turtle in his hat?
Or this might be the baby.
oh, Amazing Baby is a nod to the Krakoa comics. It is a werewolf that like was adopted by Rachel Summers, and is basically like her. Jeff is to Deadpool what Amazing Baby is to Rachel Summers.
gotcha. Okay.
Ah,
So amazing baby is just like there from Krakoa, hanging out with Rocket.
Más o menos, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I really like this costume. I think this costume is great. I think it's I actually like it better, I think, than the Squirrel Girl. And I don't own any other Rocket skin other than the one that was in the Battle Pass. And I am very tempted to buy this Rocket skin because I play Rocket a lot.
I will be purchasing this. I did not like the promotional image of this or like him on the front screen, I was like, eh. But I like seeing the skin in action, and I love the jetpack. Oh my gosh, and the weapon,
water.
come on. Yeah,
Water spraying out. If you watch the video as well, your revival thing is like a big water tube, and then your alt also is like looks awesome.
I think I just want to squid or something in the
jetpack.
Jetpack.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
they're
just
so
want to play
fun.
the skin
Like-
and listen to Jimmy Buffett the whole time.
There you go. And have margarita.
Away.
It's great.
Sounds good. That sounds awesome.
Yep. So again, these skins are available in the shop. Go check them out. You can go get them over there. Let's see some other news. This is pretty sweet. So Penguin Random House, the book publisher, has announced The Art of Marvel Rivals. It is a new book that is on the way. This is actually going to have a forward by Danny Koo. It's
cool.
being published by NetEase Games. And they said it's a full-color hardcover art book collecting art and developer commentary chronicling the creation of the new multiplayer class-based shooter starring heroes and villains from across the Marvel multiverse. The Art of Marvel Rivals is a must-have tome for any fan of multiplayer shooters, super heroic action, or breathtaking competition across Marvel's multiverse. So if you're just a fan of super heroic action, this is a book for you. Doesn't even matter whether you're a Marvel fan or not. It looks like it's going to retail for $54.99 and it is set to release on September 2nd of 2025. So we still got a little bit of time for this is going to come out, but
Published by Dark Horse.
yeah, Dark
Interesting.
Horse actually, yeah.
208 pages.
What do you guys think, man? This is a must buy,
Yeah, it's a
right?
buy,
I think.
for sure.
And so it is, I want to say this responsibly, as someone who is a collector and sometimes finds myself with too many things. Dear listener, if this is something you're interested in, take a look. Wait till it comes out. You might not want to pre-order. It doesn't, be honest with yourself. But check it out when it does come out, because art books like these, depending on how popular they are, sometimes they don't get a second printing and then they disappear and become super rare and the price goes crazy up. Case in point, Marvel's Spider-Man, the first Insomniac game, when it released, there was an art book, but there was also a script book. And so they made the script like a hardcover coffee table book with art from the game in it. And it was literally the entire script of the game. And I was like, I'll wait. And I think it retailed for like $50 when it released. Instantly sold out.
Oh, jeez.
And for years I've been looking for it, but couldn't find a copy under $300. And I was like, I'm not. And then I randomly found a copy for like $75, like 6 months ago, and I bought it. So if you know that this is something you like, wait, check it out. I'm sure it'll go up for order on Amazon at some point, and you can order it. If you don't like it, just send it back.
Or sometimes these books come out and they either overprint them, or maybe they're not as popular, and you can find them at Ollie's for $10. So just kind of depends. It's always kind of hit or miss, but just to support, kind of support them in that. I'm definitely going to be getting this book. This book looks great. It says, they're even going to go into just kind of the development of all the reimagined icons. So, even when you think about it, like Iron Man, Namor, Storm, the actual Rivals versions of these characters, it's going to go into all of that with developer commentary and everything in there. So I think this is going to be, obviously if you're listening to this podcast, you're a fan of the game, and I think this is going to definitely be something you're going to want to keep your eyes on for sure. So again, September 2nd, $54.99. As far as I can see, you can't pre-order it yet, but it is, if you head over to the Penguin Random House website, you can find it over there. You can see what this thing looks like. Cover's kind of cool too. It's got kind of that, what do we call that logo? Is it kind of like the key art? Like I know,
so.
kind of the key art for the game.
Like the white background. I think this, what was it? The original cinematic kind of ended in something like this, like a splash screen that had the white background, all the heroes clashing.
And I'm sure this could even change before then, because it is a little simple, but I don't know.
It is, but I think that's kind of cool, man. I think that's what's kind of neat about it.
You think like the back of the book would be the other side of this, because they're all headed one direction?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also have issue number 11 of the Marvel Rivals Infinity comic is available. What do you guys think? Did you dive into this and continue the story? I know, Matt, you seem
What story?
not too pleased.
Yeah, the what story? I reading. I need to go back and look at how many pages or swipes this was, because I felt like if this were a print comic, it would have been like 6 pages, because that was the
Seems
Yeah.
right.
Less, maybe.
and no movement along the plot, and not good enough reasoning for the
Fighting?
the Civil War
Why?
vibe they want to give us. So, catching you up, dear reader, Ultron has invaded Krakoa in this comic, and the Avengers are kind of like at odds with the X-Men, and the X-Men want to destroy Cerebro before Ultron can infect it. Plot twist, he already has. To the point where the X-Men are like physically restraining the Avengers, but then they start fighting.
And then at the end, it doesn't even matter because he still is there, comes out with Cerebro, and it's what, Ultron, Cerebro Ultron? I don't even know what we want to call him.
Like Golden Ultron. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and he just says, "To me, my X-Men." And that's it.
Because in the Storm says at one point, she's like, guys, this is not verbatim.
Yeah.
It's so weird. She says,
Something's
guys,
happening.
this has nothing to do with you. This is the X-Men's. Like, back off. And Captain America's like, no, I'm America. I don't know.
It's like this is what like the first series of these was like, you know, where it's like where they're just fighting
Yes.
each other the whole time and like whipping quips at each other, which is just the writing of it is just not great. The lead up to this I've really liked. Like I've liked all of these at least a little bit until this one. This one I was like, there's truly nothing here. That's
Jeff spit out all the robots over the cliff.
That
From his own.
In the beginning, that was cool.
So
yeah.
that was really interesting. And like Galacta makes a little quip about some people thinking that Jeff is
that Jeff is
OP.
OP.
like that was a funny little nod to the meta, I guess.
Yeah.
At the time. But I don't want to call it bad, because some like the people got hired and you know they made a thing, and that's more than I can say right now. But it's not doing enough with what you have. And I would hate for there to be a precedent, and which I feel has kind of been set, that Infinity Comics give the vibe that they're not good enough for print. So that's why they're only released on that.
I mean, this one, and really this whole series has kind of been this way. And I think it was Ken's, or even maybe you mentioned it, Matt, like the art style. There are some, I'm going to call them panels. I mean, Infinity Comics almost don't have panels, but like there's one Emma Frost one. And I can't remember if it was this issue or last week's. She looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like it was
she's
just
rough.
like, I sketched it. And I mean, that's even, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's like,
yeah, like that. Look at that.
I mean, there's one. The one I'm thinking of, it wasn't even her in diamond form. It was like just her face, and it was like, what are we doing?
It's just super inconsistent. And like,
Yeah.
I don't think that Emma Frost has ever looked. I feel like the artists and the writers who were hired for the Infinity Comics are not writers and artists in comics. Does that make sense? It feels like you hired people who are writers, who are artists, but maybe they are game designers and doing concept art and stuff there. But like, if you are the writer, I don't get the vibe that Emma Frost is White Queen from anything. Like, she doesn't look glamorous. She doesn't look dangerous. She doesn't look commanding. She looks dowdy, if that makes sense. Like, none of what her character over decades of comic history has been translates onto the screen here.
Yeah, now, we did learn in the art direction doc how they were trying to go for their own style with Rivals, right? Do you think
Right.
that the artists of this book are trying to, I don't know, maybe convey that art style, which is, a little bit more colorful maybe than a lot of Marvel books are? But even though I don't want to say Rivals is, and I mean this is a terrible term to use, but like cartoony, because it's not. I mean it's definitely 3D, but still kind of has somewhat of a comic style to it or aesthetic to it. But it still looks good, and I can't help but feel this comic looks almost rushed. If anything, it just doesn't look like they took the time to go back. It's just like a quick sketch, and they're just quickly sketching it out and just pushing it out onto the app.
That could very well be it.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're putting out a new issue every week. That's insane.
Yeah.
Doing one that is up to date with the current season of games, incorporating costumes that appear in game, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's appeared so inconsistent to me, to the point where it makes me think that completely different teams were on like issues. So it's like, you know what? Team A, you're on issues 6 and 8. Team B, you're on issues 7 and 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's just not the connectitude, the synergy.
I mean, somehow Ichiro Oda is able to put out an issue of One Piece every single week and create incredible backgrounds and incredible everything else. So I think it's possible, but
he's not comparable.
He's a machine
On another level.
Yeah.
It's giving webtoons here.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
analogy. Yeah,
Mhm.
And
but again,
not that that's not a
we appreciate
dig.
it though.
Like there's a lot of good webtoons content, but you can't, I don't know. I don't want to accuse anyone of diminishing quality by saying, I don't think that would be a cop out to be like, oh, they don't get it. We're just going for our own vibe, our own style. Yes, but like make it good.
I think what it is we just, because we like this game and love this game so much, I guess you could say we just think it deserves better, maybe? Is that right?
We want
right?
more.
We want more, yes. Yeah. So
I think
I think their issue is they set the bar so high with the written stories, like
Yeah,
the lore pages
very
in
true.
game, and like, oh, this sounds amazing, and then it's like 3 issues of them sitting at the beach.
yeah.
It's like when the first host of a podcast to put out a personal episode like puts out an episode and it has like full music and editing and everything, and it's an hour long, and then everyone else is like, oh crap, I gotta do something that's an hour long, and I gotta do
I have no idea what you're talking about. Not at all.
I'm kidding.
Speaking of music, Matt, good little segue there. Finally, here in the news, we got our second episode of behind-the-scenes footage of the music tracks being made, and this time they showed us an inspiring and powerful live rendition of the impending Doom track. So if you haven't seen this yet, go check it out in the Marvel Rivals X feed. You can go check it out there. And once again, it's just incredible hearing the music, seeing the guitar being played, seeing the drums being played, seeing the horn section, seeing the orchestra, all that.
Do a symphony tour. Like I've seen
that would be awesome.
I've seen like the Harry Potter orchestra tours. I saw
There's
Black
a
Panther.
Last Airbender one coming.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you can go see Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. Like Attack on Titan just came through my town, and it was completely sold out. I couldn't get a ticket. But it's like this music is so powerful and so moving. And it's a video game. Like, what right does it have to evoke this out of me?
Yeah.
It gets me pumped to play. You guys know the actual band called Impending Doom? They're like death metal.
Nice.
Sweet.
And so the when I first saw Impending Doom, that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, okay. I didn't realize that was the track name. But yeah, it got me stoked to play.
Yeah. Very cool. So go check that out. It's over on the Rivals X account. It's pretty sweet. All right. Well, let's move on here to our lore segment that we like to call our Cerebro Files. All right. Well, as promised, this week we are talking about Iron Fist himself, Lin Lie. So, Matt, do you want to take it over here? And
Yeah.
It's all about him.
this week is going to be a little bit shorter because Lin Lie hasn't been around that long. Fairly recent character.
Fresh.
Yeah. JV. He's new to the scene, if you will. Made his debut in Swordmaster in 2019. Had any of you guys heard of Lin Lie before, Rivals?
Only place I heard Swordmaster was Snap. Marvel
Right.
Snap. That was it.
Yeah.
I read all of the War of the Realms.
Yeah.
Swordmaster had I don't know if it was just a one comic in that event, but that was when I first heard of Swordmaster, and I think Lin Lie was in there too.
Yeah, so that was before being Iron Fist, before becoming Iron Fist. That's the grammar. He went by the name Swordmaster, and that was that was like his debut in like mainstream Marvel comics. So funny story. I guess kind of talking about some of the comic issues already. There is a 12-issue Swordmaster arc, which basically is like his origin and everything. But that was released only in Chinese. And it was being translated into English and released in the English market during War of the Realms, where he was a member of the New Agents of Atlas. And so they had some pretty sick adventures in War of the Realms. And so it was kind of like an issue of that would come out, and then they'd translate an issue of Swordmaster, and then another issue of that, and another issue of that. Super cool. But yeah, Lin Lie, he's a Chinese character, born in Shanghai, and grew up with a pretty awesome life, I feel. Kind of the thing that I wish would have happened to me. His dad was an archaeologist, and so him and his brother would go with his dad on like archaeological trips to sites, uncovering treasures and things like that. So like, did anybody watch this might be like aging myself too much. For a short amount of time, there was an animated series of The Mummy.
Mummy's alive? No.
Nope, that's different. That was also sick. But it was the Brendan Fraser and it was like those characters, not voice.
Like a series?
Yeah.
Oh, not characters, not the actors.
Yeah. And so after
Great movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, all good movie. Well, yeah, even the one with Jet Li in it. I mean, I liked it.
Scorpion King?
All of those. But basically, during this one archaeological trip, his father accidentally removes this sword, the sword of Fuxi, from this place called the Valley of 1,000 Tombs. And the tomb that he removes it from is one of the tombs of this tribal leader, Chi Yu. And Chi Yu his soul has basically been locked in these tombs because he was like a god of war. So think like Ares and the Wonder Woman pantheon, stuff like that. And because he was so brutal, a warlord, they locked him away. And this is one of the things that was holding him safe. But his soul has been split up into 3 separate tombs. And so with every tomb that gets opened, his presence gets stronger and he gets that much closer to coming back into our realm. And so Lee's father, so just a reminder, as we talk about names, Lin Lie, Lin is the surname, Lee is his first name. Right. We're talking about Asian characters.
And it is Lee, right? Because I was kind of, some places I either was reading that it was pronounced Lay instead of Lee. I probably said it both ways on the show so far. I don't know.
Somebody ran in the show. Tell me. I'm going to say Lee just because that's how my brain convinced me. I also said Persephone for 5 years before
Persephone
kid, thinking about that kind of thing. So I could very well be wrong. And that's, if you hear anything incorrect that I say ever, feel free to shout us out. So his dad and his brother disappear when the sword is pulled. Lee's approached by some. Through all of this events, he finds out that he is descendant of the Emperor Fuxi, this, whom this sword is named after, and that his family, along with 2 other factions, were responsible for locking away Chiyu. He's approached by this other woman who has a similar background, from a different tribe, who helped defeat Chiyu. And basically, throughout the years, their family's responsibility has become to block these tombs to prevent people from opening them and letting Chiyu out. But this is something that Lee and his family had no idea about. So somewhere down the line, we lost the narrative, right? He gets this other magical object, an orb, but it's kind of stolen from him. So he's left with this sword, and he has to learn how to use it, how to basically protect these tombs. He takes the name Swordmaster, and through this first book of his is these adventures, trying to find his dad and his brother, and then learning these sword skills, all while gallivanting all over Asia, Southeast Asia. He meets other heroes like Arrow, Wave, and Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of fire, who they work with in War of the Realms. Becomes a member of the Agents of Atlas, which is kind of like an Oceania-based group of heroes that spread out over the diaspora.
Was Luna Snow in that too?
She is, yeah.
Yes. I remember
This
that
was
coming up.
her and White Fox were 2 characters that debuted in Future Fight, and then they had their comic debut in specific Future Fight anniversary issues, along with Crescent and Io, the little girl and her big spirit bear.
Oh yeah,
were also on that team.
Sweet.
And Danny Koo came up with all of them. So I just hope those would be sick characters that I hope we get to see in the game. So basically, at one point, his brother reappears, opens a tomb. His brother's got powers. His brother's name is Fang. And he says that he's there to join with his brother in opening the rest of these tombs so that they can finally destroy Chiyu. And Lee's like, nah, I'm not buying it. And so they fight.
Liar.
And yeah, it doesn't go super hot for him.
Fang or
for Lee.
Okay.
It doesn't go super well. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. At the end of his solo book, he is fighting with the hero White Fox, who is like a big fox. She can turn into a big fox creature. And an evil demon basically shatters his sword. And bits of it get caught in his hands and throughout his body. And they spread out through the rest of the world, basically. And that is the end of his solo book. Cut to 3 years later, we don't hear much anything else about Lin Lie. So what's interesting about the original book is that the first 6 issues, since they were translated from Chinese, it was originally a manhwa, which is Chinese manga with big wuxia vibes, the battle, the warrior, stuff like that. They were short and they had a backup story that was Shang-Chi. 6 later issues, which were mainly produced for the American market, were a little bit longer issues. And we didn't see this guy again. We saw him a little bit in the Agents of Atlas book, which was a 5-issue miniseries, which led into an event called Atlantis Attacks, where they went up against Namor and the people of Atlantis. And he had a couple other appearances, and that was really it. Until 2022, Iron Fist #1 comes out. And it's not Danny Rand, and nobody knows who this guy is. It is just a guy with black hair, Marvel was very secretive about it and didn't let on any clues. And it wasn't until you read issue 1, kind of like the reveal of the all new Venom, that you found out who it was, and it was Lin Lie. And so many people were scratching their heads, were like, "Sorry, who?" Because he's up until now very much a side character, but bringing him full into like main Marvel continuity, also kind of being a reflection of some of the critique at the time that Iron Fist was a character who had these more Asian roots, and a lot of people wanted to see the return to that, giving him that. But basically, in the comics, he wakes up in Kunlun, and he was saved by a newly hatched dragon, and I forget the dragon's name. Holy moly!
Whoa.
Xiao Lao. And basically, Xiao Lao sees that Lee is going to die, gives him key to preserve his life, which imbues him with the power of the Iron Fist. And so then that book becomes, it's 5 issues, called The Shattered Sword. It's basically his search to try and find the other pieces of his sword that he has. And this is where we see his confrontation with Fang. And in the final issues, he has this sick moment where he combines the power of his sword and his abilities as sword master and the abilities of the Iron Fist to form like this energy blade. That's like the fusion of both of these techniques, which is super sick.
It like comes out of his wrist, right? It's like a wrist thing.
It's like brother gets away.
Yeah. Sounds sick.
Nice.
But go ahead.
Oh, it just doesn't sound fun that like, and I watched like a recap of this story, and when these tombs were being opened and these pieces of the swords were being found, he like gets these horrible pains. If you ever got like cut with glass or anything like that in your fingers, this guy's got shards of this sword all up in his forearms. It looks like crazy.
And so like comic wise, he's got the Swordmaster series, the Agent of Atlas, mini run, the 5-issue run of Iron Fist. This started in 2019, so this is all super recent. This is all on Marvel Unlimited. But you might also, this is probably on like Hoopla and Libby as well, the library apps. He was in an interesting, if anybody read the Avengers X-Men Eternals event, Axe Judgment Day, super convoluted. This is where they detail like his trial as Iron Fist, where basically he has to steal the heart of Xiao Lao to like unlock his powers, and Loki's like there Jay chillin', and shenanigans ensue. But that's a whole convoluted event that you don't need to read the whole thing for. If you just want a interesting side issue, you can read that. But then it was also an interesting side issue of the King in Black event, specifically the Black Knight book. So when Null invades Earth, Lee's like, oh no, these are minions of Chi-Yu, running to, like defeat them, all this stuff, realizes that's not who they are. And so he's like, this isn't me. These are not my demons. I'm good. The sword is like, nah, my guy, like this, we're heroes. We got to help, and leaves him. Kind of like Mjolnir-esque, and sends itself to Dane Whitman, the Black Knight. And this is kind of along the lines, Black Knight gets taken over by a symbiote dragon, and the sword's like, no, this isn't me. I'm going back to my original guy. It tries to leave.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah, and so the sword like lights itself on fire, so Black Knight will release it and like gets out of dodge. Black Knight is safe; he's fine. But kind of like Sword's Day Out, if you will. Just an interesting side quest issue, but that's really it.
Wow.
So when we saw him debut in the game, I had because he was just said to be Iron Fist. I was like, this isn't Danny Rand. This isn't a white guy with with a fro. I was really excited, and then when they added his Swordmaster skin, I was super stoked for that because he's such a fun character, and I love that Marvel's doing more to have this visibility for their Asian characters.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, this being NetEase, right? Publishing and developing the game, so
made there.
Yep. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we see who we got. Arrow and who else would be coming from
White Fox.
Yeah, there's White Fox. There's Crescent and Io.
Spirit Bear Girl.
Yeah, he's Danny
they'll
Co's
all be
got
there.
A bunch of different characters.
Yeah, so I can almost guarantee you, we're probably going to see those characters. I think was it last week we were talking about, or you guys were talking about, like original characters. I think somebody mentioned that. Maybe we had an email or something about that. I think those are going to be the original characters. So they're technically original, but they're just really new Marvel characters that have not been very well known here in the States. But I think that's what we're going to see coming.
Like existing characters, but like the first time that we really get to know them, and would be in Rivals.
And I didn't know that there were like regional based publications like this. Like there are specific, like Mark, we're big High Republic fans. There's specific Japanese comics that are only that have been published that haven't been made in English, and there are no plans to do it just because it's like, nope, this is for like this specific spot of people. So
yeah,
they've been forced to troll to Reddit.
Crazy.
Look for a
translation. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. So next week, Matt, who are we doing next week? I think we're
gonna line up with the player challenge, and we're gonna do Psylocke lore because I know that's been requested a lot.
Yes. Okay. So next week, not only are we doing the Psylocke lore, but if you want, join in with us. Play 10 Psylocke matches.
It's gonna be a Psylocke show.
Yes, Psylocke.
You're Psylocke in it.
We're gonna be going in Viz and hiding.
Psylocked in.
Taking you out. All right, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you involved, that we call What Ifs. All right, well, don't forget you can always email us to pod@rivalsassemble.com, or if you join our Discord, you can go over there. We got a channel. It says What Ifs. You can leave us a question over there, and you can also always leave us a comment over on Spotify and leave your question over there. Let's see. The first one we have is from Justin O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy? He says, I think I might be kind of hitting a little bit of a wall with Rivals. I'm mainly a solo queue player, and man, it's been rough for Season 2. The matchmaking seems especially bad this season, at least for me anyway. I'm basically constantly on either a winning streak or a losing streak. There's no in between, and the losing streaks are rough. At least half of my losses are straight up steamrolls that are just pointless. Currently, if I lose 2 in a row, I just turn the game off. Honestly, it sucks. So, is anybody else feeling that way right now?
I mean, that's kind of how it's always been for me. At least. I don't know about Season 2, and I stick to that rule. I haven't played as much this week as I typically would have, but each night I log on, I turn on Rivals, and I'm gonna go straight into competitive. And my rule is like, I'm gonna play till I lose 2 games. Not 2 games in a row. I'm gonna play till I lose 2 games. Sometimes I play 2 games and then I turn the game off. But a lot of I may play like 4 or 5, and it's like when I get that second loss mark, I'm done. I'm gonna go play something else. And I think that just kind of keeps the balance.
Yeah. I mean, I've had, especially early on in the season, when things were still not really spread out yet and competitive, I definitely had those moments where it was like, oh, it's just incredibly frustrating. And I mean, I've even had some quick match games that are just terrible. But part of it's just because, you're in quick match. People are trying new heroes out or crazy team comps, and like, you just kind of got to go in with that mindset. But for me, whenever I'm not having fun, I just go play something else. But still, I always end up somehow coming back to Rivals, no matter what. Like, what's out right now? Claire Obscure, Expedition 33.
I've been playing so much of this week, and even when I sit down to play that game, I'm like, man, could play a couple rounds of Rivals, and then I end up on a winning streak, and I don't play Expedition 33. And so, got to pick and choose.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. Like, I'll play another game, but then I'm I think the same thing. Like, but I could play Rivals, or I could, and it's just like I can only play like Expedition for like 20, 30 minutes, and then I just go right back to Rivals or whatever the game is. Like that's just how I don't know what it is. This game is like ingrained itself into me now that like
I've been doing a lot. So like this week I've had the week off and I've been talking about it nonstop. Dragon Age Veilguard. I've got into gaming for like the storytelling narrative games. And so I have to unplug from shooters and competitive stuff without fail, like very often. I think that's why I come and go in spurts and kind of like save all my tasks to do, so that there's always, whenever I get on, there's always something for me to do.
yeah.
I think that if you are like a daily grinder, then you're hitting that point of diminishing marginal return, where it's just like you're not getting out of it the time you're putting in, which completely makes sense. So just find something similar that you can do that's different. Like if I'm having a bad day at Rivals and there's no like big story game I'm playing, I'll switch over to Overwatch and try stuff there. And if I just get trounced at Overwatch, then it's like, you know what? Maybe I should go touch grass and go for a walk.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've talked about it too. The 2 losses, it's some sort of algorithm in there saying that people are convinced that if you just lose, you'll just keep on losing too. So they say take a break, so that it knows that you don't like losing.
I love losing.
Yeah, it's great. Let's see. This next one comes to us from Chase, and he says, for the pod, with Ultron's debut in the foreseeable future, are there any other android/robot, etc. characters you would like to see added to the roster?
I mean, there's one answer, right?
Vision.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Have a Vision Scarlet Witch team up? What would that be? What would that even be? What would their team up be? I mean, you'd have to have it, right?
You change reality. She does.
She
like
pulls
her
the Mind
WandaVision.
Stone out of his head.
I don't know what that would be, but they would have to have some sort of team up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like now I can't even.
I mean, his abilities would probably be going through walls or something like that. You think he could do something with that?
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
What if she fastball specialed him, increased his density, and she just kind of like whop and just like
sent
sent like a speeding train at you?
crazy.
It could be something as simple as like the Fantastic Four team up, where it's just like a little extra health or a little extra damage
bubble
or something
shields.
like that. Nothing crazy, but
Maybe
we
her
want it to be something crazy.
Her face gets like an additional second or something because he can go in
because he
there.
could help her with it.
I think she needs to be the anchor for something because she keeps benefiting from everything
fine.
else. So
She doesn't need anything. I thought, and I responded to Chase when I saw this on Discord, I thought about Danger from X-Men. And
Who's that?
So Danger is the physical manifestation of the Danger Room.
Oh,
And what I think would be sick is if we had a PvE event where you're in the Danger Room and it went on the fritz, and so you're sent through like all these mini maps, and it's like X-Men locations like Genosha, Asteroid M, Krakoa, the sewers of New York with the Morlocks, stuff like that. And then at the end, it's because Danger is like on the fritz and manifests itself as this like physical thing, and then they become a playable hero.
That'd be cool.
crazy.
Hire me.
I like it's about to be a couple weeks to be in the next movie we watch for the Patreon, but the Destroyer maybe from Thor, like Asgard automaton.
We have a statue of him in the game.
It's true. Yeah.
It's in that one starting area in Asgard.
That'd be dope.
Or what about a Sentinel?
Just a straight up
Isn't there
Sentinel.
like a small Sentinel?
Sentinel Prime. There's, oh gosh, what's her name? You could have Bastion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, was Bastion.
Gosh.
Herbie.
I mean, I was thinking Herbie would be
Herbie.
cool.
Well,
Strategist.
if we're doing Cyborg, then we need Cable.
or and then you could have Strife. You could have Spiral, the chick with 6 arms who works with Mojo. Give me Mojo as a
You're a
playable
little
villain.
too deep for me now.
Mojo's the fat guy, and like
Yeah.
I know who
He's all
Mojo is, but
crazy.
you lost me at 6 arms. I'm not familiar with that.
gosh,
It's Goro.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat crossover. Let's see. This one comes to us from Lagnus. He says, when you're having an off night but want to still play some, what hero do you pick and why? Since it's not Overwatch, nobody can answer Junkrat because I can just spam out small bits of damage so it looks like I actually did something.
Squirrel Girl.
So I'm honestly curious. Yeah, Overwatch. Or Lagnus, just play Squirrel Girl, man.
That
It's
is
Squirrel Girl.
my answer to this.
She is Junkrat.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like he says, when you're having an off night, I like playing heroes like whoever I just want to play to have fun with half the time. Like when my quick matches, it's like, I want to play some Hulk matches. Or just today I played a bunch of Mr. Fantastic matches because it was like, you know what? Currently reading the Ultimate Invasion books, and it was like reading about the Maker, and he's obviously heavily in those books. I was like, I want to play Mr. Fantastic, and I just played a bunch of matches with that because I just felt like having fun. And it wasn't, about me winning those matches per se. It was more about just using his kit and having fun playing as him. So for me, it's like almost all the heroes except for Black Widow because she's terrible.
I like to troll and do like social media trends when I'm having an off night. So like things that I've seen. So one of the bigger ones that I've seen on like TikTok is playing Invisible Woman and like searching out the campers. So like your Black Widows or your Psylocks or somebody.
Like sneak up behind them.
Yeah, and do the spray. And then it freaks them out.
Oh,
And they're like
just out of
they're swiping
nowhere.
around trying to find you and everything. Or just like going up to somebody and like doing the quick melee, like slap them, because that's what Invisible Woman is. Slap them and then jump away, turn invisible again.
That's funny.
Oh, that's cool.
You
Can't
are
find
not
me.
contributing anything to the team at all. Well, I mean, other than keeping a
They're
Psylocke
distracted.
or
Yeah.
But you're
Distraction
contributing joy to yourself.
yeah,
There you
sometimes
go.
that's all that matters.
Yep. Let's see. Next one is from Final Hex Girl. And they said, who's a character you'd like to see show up involving a map, like Dracula or the Master Weaver? They said, I'd like to see Ghost Agatha on a map of the Witch's Road. Maybe we escort her as a convoy. The collector at his museum on Nowhere would be sick, too.
Give me a spoopy Agatha map.
That'd be sweet, right? Maybe
Yeah.
Halloween season. That would be like
There's
the...
one for down the road. Maybe down the road when we get here eventually, because I'm sure we will. But a map on Titan with Thanos.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And every point on like make it like a checkpoint map, and then every point you claim like a different effect goes into, like a different effect of the
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the
Energy stones goes into.
Mhm.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I think, Matt, you're on something with Danger and having like multiple maps. Kind of like what I think of is Smash Bros. Ultimate, where you'd be playing on a stage and then it's like a stage morph kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you'd be pushing a map, and then all of a sudden, you're on a totally different map now, and the progress is saved or something like that. And it's just like trying to mess with you.
Mm.
Maybe it's like a control point, and like once you control the point, like it's shift,
Yeah.
like processing through the different programs or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mentioned the Sentinel. I think I remember talking before about like a Sentinel map with the X-Men somehow, whether it's
Days of
either
Future Past.
Oh, dude, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
That would be great. That's the thing with Marvel. Like, there's so many options
Literally.
of what they can do. It's insane. The
You
number
can
of things they
have
can do with this.
Iron Fist. You can be in one of those tombs trying to break out the piece of the sword, right? Like we were just talking about.
Yep.
Fight Iron Fist's brother.
Or have Shao Lao, like if we get a Kunlun map would be pretty dope. And I can want to say like Shenlong, like you're searching for the Dragon Balls. Shao Lao just like Jay chillin', through the sky.
He's the dragon.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Let's see. We got another one from El Ravager. who I believe is over in the chat right now live,
Speaking
said,
of
would it be better or worse to have more things to interact with on a map? We usually have a character to speak to, have destructible buildings, and in Clintar, we have those silly symbiotic wall things that often get me KO'd because I get trapped behind it.
Agreed.
Portals on the Krakoa maps are neat, I think, as I have another exit route as Black Widow. What other kinds of interactive things would be favorable or interesting you'd like to see or not see on existing maps or new maps coming out in the future? I think the portals are great on Krakoa. That was
Portals
kind
are
of neat.
great.
Like when I first saw those,
Yep.
kind of going into those
Give me
maps.
anything more fast travel.
What
Yeah.
about like Rocket has like the, like some of his pack is like the double jump or something. What if there were like some speed pads or something like, we have like the jumping pads, but
Yeah.
some that
Yeah.
you could like, I don't know. I
Like
think
Mario Kart arrows on the ground.
yeah, something like that. It's like you just like fly forward or
Throw
something.
some turtle
what
shells
that
out
would be
there
on.
too, maybe.
Yeah.
The blue
There you
shells.
go. Rival cart.
I mean, they did Rocket League, so if we can't throw it out.
It wouldn't. I was gonna say it wouldn't surprise me, man, if we get
I
big
would
head
like-
rivals cart.
I would like to see something more from the Master Weaver. Because it's cool that he's like bebopping up there, when you come into that final push part of that map. Like I want to see that story continue because he's so imposing.
Mhm.
But don't you think like he would almost make more sense to be? I don't want to say the ultimate villain, but like I don't know. Just I mean, isn't the thing like he can create things like kind of within that map? Like I could just see him being a character that's like constantly changing. Could be changing the map for us, or
Yeah.
literally weaving, creating things. And I think that a map that was always different, I think would be cool. Which that would be one thing that would be kind of neat. This like procedurally generated map.
Yeah.
Somehow, where it's, either you go left or right at certain points and there's different avenues to get to the end. It's not the same every time. I think it would be kind of cool to have a
So
map
you're
that like
talking
that.
about having the ability to manipulate the Infinity Castle in Demon Slayer.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Or it could be like the WandaVision thing where
Or
she's
that.
changing the reality.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right.
Or Demon Slayer.
Even the color palette changes, black and white and everything. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
That would
Sets
Who
it
turned
up.
off the lights?
slight tangent. That would be sick. Give me like an anniversary mode or something where it's like for a, like how Fortnite does events, like for a day, like everybody's in 1950s.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. Black and white. Yeah.
Or even just night and day effects or weather effects. Give us, something like that. Change maps up. It's kind of an easy thing you can do. Or, when Halloween comes around, put the pumpkins and all that kind of on the map. Things like that will be cool. Let's see. Last one comes to us from Chase again. And he says, question for the pod. Do you guys have a word to stop yourselves from sneezing? Cucumber is the only right answer right now, by the way. Hope you guys have a good podcast tonight.
Cucumber.
Yeah. So I think we all know why it's cucumber. If you've seen the latest MCU movie, I guess I'll just throw that out there. I don't. Like, I just...
Sometimes it's like a pinch of the bridge of the nose,
Yeah.
I just make
Yeah.
a really,
But,
I do the like super, this is great podcasting, a super ugly face where I just scrunch everything as tight as I can.
Scrunch it all.
Not try
Squish
to-
it all together.
It's funny.
I'm pretty good at a silent sneeze too. Like if I need to be really quiet and just like no one, just a little puff.
You
maybe.
hold it in.
What
You
about,
hold
Well,
it
don't
in?
My
hold it
face
in. That's how
explodes.
you die.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like you let it out, but it's just
Eyes.
real quiet.
I feel
Pop
like I can do a quiet sneeze, but it's like the release afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I end up breathing fire or something after it.
My wife always gives me a hard time. She says that I over dramatize my sneezes. I get into sneeze fits in the spring and some pollen or whatever the heck it is, and I have very loud sneezes.
Or like
So-
when you get the thing where like you're rearing back and all of a sudden another one comes and you're like, like my body can't arch back that much more to like
Yeah.
prepare myself for this sneeze.
I have a coworker who, when she sneezes, it's like a machine gun sneeze. Like it's like,
Oh, no.
and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, how is that even possible? But
I don't
every
know
time
that
she sneezes, that's how it is.
I don't know that I've ever sneezed. Because think about that.
insane.
Some people are like a 15-time sneezer or whatever.
Yes.
Right.
Like, I don't think I've ever sneezed more
times.
than 3 times in my
How does
entire
your-
life.
How does your brain function if you're like your body's literally on autopilot at that point?
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
not in control. Like
No.
Thank God she's
Take a
not
Zyrtec.
driving, right?
you're like in safe
Yeah.
mode. Like they're doing a hard reset there.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, you gotta go
Right.
take a break after that.
Mhm.
But all right, well, there you go, guys. So again, send your questions and comments over to us either over on Spotify or to pod@rivalsassemble.com, or of course you can leave it over in our Discord, which we are so close. I think we are 6 or 7 away from 300 members. So if you're listening to this and you haven't joined the Discord yet, hop on over there. You can find some like-minded folks, people to play with, all that good stuff over there in our Discord. And of course, head over to rivalsassemble.com. You can find all our social links over there to our X, our Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch, all of that. You can find all those over there. And if you want to help support the show just a little bit more than just tuning in, you can do so by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rivalsassemble.com. $5 gets you to become a true believer and gets you at least 6 extra episodes a week. And actually, just as we're done recording, or a month, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Calm
we,
down.
oh, man.
We have
That's
other
a lot of
jobs.
content.
But yeah, so this Monday we are breaking down the Thunderbolts in our MCU recap, and then every Wednesday we have some solo episodes from each of us. So Neil's is out now, his second episode. Ken's is coming next week, and so yeah, go over there if you want to help support the show a little bit more. Patreon.com/rivalsassemble. Guys, any final thoughts here on the pod this week? Anything? MomoCon, Matt. Coming up, right?
Oh yeah.
Give a little plug for
May.
MomoCon.
Yeah. If anybody's in Atlanta or you're coming to MomoCon, the biggest anime and gaming conventions in the southern United States, that is May 22nd through 25th. I will be there as the narrator for an original module that I wrote for the Marvel Multiverse game system titled Action Point Wakanda, based off Marvel Rivals. Be running 3 sessions of that. You'll be able to be the first ones to play it. 3 opportunities to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then I'm also going to be DMing some learn to play sessions for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So if you've never played the game before, you can come and join a stress-free table with a really cool, chill DM. And we can teach you how to play. But yeah, that you can actually go ahead and sign up online right now, reserve a spot, and spots are filling up, which is crazy.
You're a popular guy, man.
Well, I don't think it's me. I think it's that it's mobile. It's a limited offer. So yeah, would love to see you there.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. As always, thank you here for tuning into the show, however you're tuning in, whether it's through iTunes, through Spotify, through YouTube, Twitch, or whatever other podcast service you use. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, we'll catch you later.